Hello friends, welcome back to the journey of consciousness that we are taking together, wherever you are, whenever you are. We're all grateful to be together here now for this fun little jaunt through time and space via our consciousness, via the sine waves that we travel through these infinite spheres of the many worlds, the many world interpretation theory that I've spoken much about, and how learning certain physics topics has helped me, and I hope you all, to better grasp the mechanics of this reality so that we can become active builders of the plane around us, the reality around us, what is essentially a simulation simulated by our consciousness, so that we can experience the fun of pretending that we're separate when we are really all just one consciousness. Now, I have a few things I wanted to share with you all. Here's a work of art that I just came through yesterday. Just felt called to just see what wanted to be drawn and expressed through the vessel of my beingness, and it will continue, but I started with just pencil and pen, and I suppose the reason why I wanted to share this artwork with you all was to just tell you a little bit of how simple this technique is of just drawing with pencil, whatever your subconscious, it just starts with a line or a point or a shape or a curve, just having that blank paper and a writing utensil and something like a pencil if you really, it could be a pen if that's more comfortable, but if you are wanting to enhance your ability to draw and things like that and to be a vessel of expression for your own subconsciousness to be able to communicate back to your conscious mind, having that blank paper with any kind of writing utensil is highly therapeutic. The thing that's nice about pencil is that you can then erase and change it, and in this style that I've really become fond of, I'm using this black ink, but I trace the lines that I drew with the pencil, and that's my opportunity to say, oh, I want this curve to be a little bit more like this. And so it's kind of nice because you draw it with pencil, and then you're just tracing it with pen, but you get to sort of make these little micro adjustments. And for me, making art that I enjoy is about being comfortable making micro adjustments anywhere and everywhere that I want to. So with this one, I'm going to do color pencil. I'm going to use color pencil and also watercolor. It'll be sort of a new mixed media that I'll explore, is combining the two together and see how that aesthetic comes out. And another idea I had was to use the impressionist style that I really like, and have done with color pencil and acrylic paint, and then switching to clay paint, natural paint. I've done a lot of an impressionist style, so either with this drawing or another one, I'm interested in trying watercolor impressionism, to where it's still tiny dots, but yet done with watercolor. And I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before. So playing, having fun, creating, allowing our inner child to have that pure childlike wonder, childlike joy, bliss in the heart. And what makes us sparkle? What is it in your life that brings you joy, that you are asking yourself to create space to do more of? It may be artwork, it may be taking hikes or running in nature, something that I'm hoping to do, get back into trail running that I really, really love. Okay, so I want to keep moving because there's some important things I want to share with you all. Now, one of the things that's come up recently is, for me, and I feel like the whole collective really of consciousness that we are, is how if we're working with crystals and or frequencies, and we're wanting to facilitate healing, perhaps we're wanting to do things like practicing telepathy and enhancing telepathy and this type of communication, or we might want to use crystals and frequencies just to generate, as opposed to like individual specific healing, we may want to use them to just generate healing frequencies for our homes and our environments, just which again, this is about enhancing life force, chi, prana, whatever you call it, that's available to our bodies in every now moment. The more we enhance this life force, the more plants thrive, the more the animals thrive, the more we thrive. So, when working with crystals and frequencies, there's just a few things that I want to impress upon you all. And just in general, I've come to find them very, very important key considerations. In the last couple of days came back up as an important topic to focus on when appropriate. So this is one of those moments. So if we are going to shape a crystal in a way that we can work with frequencies together with that crystal, really what we want to ensure that we're doing is that the sacred geometry of the crystal, say for example quartz, we are going to want to shape that piece of quartz in a way that is in alignment with the atomic structure on the level of the protons and neutrons and electrons. And the electrons, for example, something like quartz, the electrons that are orbiting around that nucleus, the locations that they are, because the electrons, it's always about a probability. What's the highest probability it's going to be in any given location, because they're zooming all around all the time. So you look at the probability, and so the quartz atoms on that atomic level are arranged in a cube shape, in the cube form. And you can tell by looking at quartz crystals that grow naturally, and if you look at it under a microscope, you can see that the molecules themselves are mirroring the shape on the atomic level. It's a fractalic, everything is a fractal. So what we're wanting to do, if we're going to work with something like quartz, what we're going to want to do, and we're going to shape the facets because of, we're trying to, again, utilize it to spread healing or spread information, this sort of thing. We want the shape of that quartz crystal to perfectly align with how the molecules are lined up on the atomic level, on the molecular level. We want it to be a fractalic representation of what it looks like on its deepest fundamental level. I'm getting my picture across. I think I'm being clear. I feel like I'm being clear. If I'm not, please let me know. Why this is important is because then the facets of this crystal structure align up on the atomic level and the molecular level. They're going to then be expressed in the physical level in a way that is identical. And this allows these nodes, where these longitudinal waves are traveling from node to node across time and space. This is how we get phenomena like remote healing and telepathy, and we can use our own beingness to do that ultimately, but it is really popular these days for people to be working with things like crystals and frequencies to assist us, kind of like training wheels, until we can get to where we remember how to do it with our own bodies. So if we're using these type of training wheels and we're working with a crystal, we want the facets of the shape of that crystal to be identical as much as we can, as close as we can with the tools available, to what it looks like on the subatomic level, but then also the atomic level, and then the molecular, on and on and on. And then by doing that, it's a perfect fractalic representation of what it looks like, in the tiny layer. We match that appropriately. Then we can utilize frequencies more effectively because the crystal has then basically been tuned specifically according to the sacred geometry that is all around us and also in the crystal. Now, frequencies, this is also a key point because golden ratio is 1.618. That is a fundamental ratio that is perfect, that is going to exist anywhere you have anytime you want to look at single units of separation, and you start with 0 and 1, just like the video I did where I showed you how to calculate the Fibonacci. The whole series you calculate just starting from 0 and 1, these concepts of like the 0 point and then individuality, individuation, individual consciousness emerging from that 0 point of all 1. So calculating the Fibonacci code, you start out 0, 1, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, on and on and on and on. And as the series continues and we divide the, we divide the last number in the series by the previous number, you're going to get a ratio that gets closer and closer to 1.618 the further you go down. So we know what golden ratio, the perfect golden ratio is. And we look at Fibonacci, and that's nature saying, well, I want to create, one flower petal instead of 1.618, right? And working with whole numbers, and the utility of working with whole numbers. But if you were in another universe, for example, where Planck, say, was a different unit, whatever it was, you're still going to have 1.618. That is going to be constant in any universe, because it emerges from this fundamental, this Fibonacci series of when you're working with individual units and you add them, you just create more complexity just by adding these numbers. This beautiful series just emerging from 0 and 1. Any universe, any galaxy, anywhere in, like, it's universal, it's beyond universal, it's like multi-universal. Because we can change Planck, like there could be all these parallel universes where Planck is just a different base unit. And then it's still going to be working with golden ratio. So we really, this number is perfected beyond even just our universe. Something like Planck, it's like, we don't know if it's anywhere else. It could only, this could be the only universe where Planck is that exact dimension. Golden ratio, on the other hand, this is, I would say, pan-universal, beyond universal. It's like, it's just, it's even more fundamental than our own specific reality. If you look into how it emerges, how to calculate it, anyone that's worked with this knows what I mean, and I hope anyone who's not familiar can follow what I'm saying. So this golden ratio, and so now I've spent a lot of time talking about this Planck-Farr formula that Dan Winter developed, but I really feel like it belongs, he uncovered it, but it's a gift for humanity, really, because it's sort of, just looking at this fundamental ratio of the golden ratio with our fundamental units of measurement in our specific universe, and just demonstrating how this whole fractal reality is generated from these, building blocks that are universal in our reality, in our universe. So these are frequencies that are perfected to our realm of existence. And if you were going to work with frequencies of something like the Fibonacci series, you're going to get close, but no cigar kind of thing. And the same with the quartz crystal. It's like you can shape it to something that is very close to what the quartz structure is like, but it's sort of like by honing our ability to express our reality, if we're, okay, let me say this. I feel that having clear communication and working with these really fundamental principles of our reality very precisely, then we can make sure that we're working with, whether we're working with crystals or frequencies, it's going to be rock solid in a sense. It's going to be impenetrable. It's going to be immune from anyone or anything interfering with those frequencies, or telepathy, say, if you were working with it to engage that skill. We want to, enhance, if we're working with these objects to enhance our abilities, whether to heal ourselves or whatever it is, we want a level of extreme precision, because I've seen firsthand, and it's all part of this portal experience, and I'm being vague for a reason, because I'm writing new stories, right? When we keep repeating old stories, we keep writing them over. So when we neutralize them and we're grateful for them and we can, joke about it like I'm doing, but the information I'm sharing with you is because I want us all to be working with these types of technologies in a way that is completely safe and has a strength that is impenetrable from outside forces. And when we get sloppy with things like the faces of the crystal, or with sloppy with the frequencies, because we're not, we could experience unintended side effects. And it's not, we might be getting effects that are positive with those frequencies that are close but not quite, or crystal facets being close. Okay, we can get some benefits, we can make some really interesting things happen, but it's always going to be sort of, that 75%, 80%, it's like, we really want this stuff to be like 99.99999% as precise as we can, and we're always aiming for 100%, and we keep wanting to up and improve that, right? We might get the facets really good, but then some crystal expert comes along and he can get them even more precise. So we learn from that person, we listen to their wisdom, we want to all improve together. So, without getting into specific details of what's going on, because I'm really just wanting to facilitate cooperation. I'm wanting everyone to look when there are pure principles in the science that we can turn to, so that we make our own decision. And it doesn't matter who's saying what. There's nothing to do with, anything to do with the person. It's always like we're looking at what is the truth. We're looking for the truth, and that's objective and neutral, regardless of who said it or where it comes from, and how we feel about that person. So it's like, let's kind of put all the personalities aside. Let's just look for this key, pure truth. But just actually felt like, just to point out to you, these nodes here, right? So if we're using a crystal, say for telepathy, I'm not doing this or even know anyone that's doing it, but I guess it just keeps coming up. But as an example, the information is going to be going through these nodes. So the more perfect we align the frequencies, like entering the crystal and leaving the crystal, so that they're perfectly entering and exiting those nodes, where it's like the ley lines on the earth, the vortex, places where you have vortexes where ley line points are all converging, coming together. So this, aligning the facets of a crystal is very much part of aligning the nodes of that crystal, so that the longitudinal waves, which are traveling via the nodes, can do so with zero information loss and zero modification from the original intention and the original words. Okay, so that's enough on that. I hope you all are, if there's areas that I'm not being clear, please feel free to make a comment in the notes, write me an email, at any time. If I ever say anything that doesn't quite seem accurate to you and you want to let me know, I'm really working to make myself open in a way that I can share that dialogue with you, whatever the topic. So that is that, and let's see here. I feel like those were the main things that I wanted to share with you all, and I really want this content to be organic, but I'm quite enjoying the process of making these videos. So just very grateful you all are showing up to join me in any capacity, and I suppose I'll just play a little bit of the hang drum to close this out. Just nice relaxing music going on. Okay. no expert by any means, but it's very therapeutic, very relaxing. So thank you all for joining again, and may your day be filled with bliss and truth and joy, should you so choose. I want to support you in that goal, and just really grateful that you're here on the earth having fun, and we're playing, and we are learning and growing, and our reality around us is upgrading as we rise up to our highest potential in every now moment. So thank you all for joining, and until next time.